Big Man is a poem, and a story based off an experience. One I decided to tell in a few mediums, the main one being claymation, which isn't just molding figures from Sculpey, you actually construct skeletons of wire, bones of epoxy, and skin of tape. After that, clay. The second medium is what's called pixelation. Basically, I'm using my own body as a stop motion puppet so I can interact with our friend's world in their world. Through this process, I've had to bounce between worlds, and the final medium, cut paper. It's construction paper, glue, magazine clippings, watercolor. This is our friend's internal world, where three-dimensionality has been removed entirely. The little guy was hard to create, partly because of matching skin tones, and partly because as I would make him walk, he would fall apart and I'd have to re-smooth him. But that's just the nature of claymation. Our friend himself wasn't meant to be entirely realistic either. He's purple. His pupils are highlighter yellow and lack some facial features, mostly so you can impress your own emotion on him based on what you see, or rather, what he sees. A forced empathy, if that makes sense. I didn't see the point in designing a puppet that looked totally human when he himself doesn't feel to be. Big Man is essentially about obsessions, compulsions, and the disorganized perception of reality that comes with that. It's about control, something most people desire, except this guy here. In all of this, we really have three characters. The hand, or the angel, that influences the child's world, mostly in a neutral way. Then we have the big guy, who still has the angel in his life, but things seem to have changed a bit. And the little guy, the child, whose imagination has run into adulthood, even when childhood was taken away. The thing is, with my choice of using my body as a character, it's hard to ignore that our main character is a puppet, but I never wanted him to feel like the fake one. Hence, his internal, two-dimensional world is a step further from our reality, yet closer to his. As children, we play games made up by big men, but we typically do not entertain or, God forbid, indulge in them 20 years later. But with some kids, the rules stick. From storyboard to set, Big Man is about being seen, not just by some higher power. To summarize, I find it important to produce this piece because living with this dysfunction, detachment, or what one may call disorder is isolating or maddening. Take your pick, although I suppose they are one and the same. I see the experience as something important to share and a project essential for me to complete, not as a spectacle of the abnormal, but to show someone else's normal, what that may look like, and not for pity, but just the opportunity of empathy. When it comes down to it, this is all a type of normal. A normal made possible by what our friend here calls the big man. I'd love you to meet him.